The reason I'm releasing two videos on the same day is because I believe these two films offer opposite views to the same problem, and while strikingly different in form and content, they both should be seen, thought of, and discussed. In this one, I'm talking about Emerald Fennell's debut, Promising Young Woman. Let's go! Promising Young Woman is easily the most challenging of this year's Oscar films, and also my favorite. It's Emerald Fennell's feature film debut, and it's a wild ride, mixing genres on the way and discussing a very delicate topic with audacity and almost edging on irresponsibility. Anyway, this is the film I will be covering in this video, and if you don't know the channel, I invite you to subscribe, follow me on social media, leave a comment, and yes, I'm the Brazilian guy who talks about movies. Let's move along. So, my experience with this film was challenging, but the post-watching was even worse. As it wasn't yet released in Brazil, everyone was obsessing with Big Brother, yeah I know, 2021, and all the people I asked to watch this one with me so we could discuss didn't. Eventually I got my girlfriend to watch it, she enjoyed it, and opened my eyes to things that only a woman could with a film like this. In the end, I thought the film to be way edgier than she did, because in her words, she's more used to the sexist world we live in than I am. So yes, my analysis here bears some of the things she brought, but I really want to take it on another road, one that I believe I can talk with propriety, which is basically me as a man, or almost, and what I learned and perceived from the movie. At least to my view, a great film on racism or sexism or any prejudice or discrimination of any kind is one that leaves you with bad taste and a lingering stomachache when it ends. And as a guy watching this, I can tell that lots of my friends would think it's very unfair to who they are and how they act, as the best quality of Promising Young Woman is, as the title of this video suggests, lying. See, and I use spoilers ahead. In the first shot we see Cassie centered all in red and visibly drunk, then we see three friends, and two of them seem keen on abusing on her state, then the nice guy decides to kinda save her, but soon enough we discover he's a douchebag and only wanted to abuse her as well. Or be it, the movie just lied to us. And too bad for him, because Cassie was sober the whole time. Again, she lied to us. And then again, in the form of Ryan, a very nice guy that respects Cassie's reserved manners and seems to be a very nice guy, a kid's doctor who forgives Cassie for inexplicably cheating on him with a guy with a fedora and never asking why, but then we discover he also possesses a dark past. And the movie just lied to us one more time. But this lie is arguably the most important one to determine the male experience with the film. When confronted, Ryan asks, "Have you never done anything you regret or anything very similar to it?" On that question alone we could talk for hours. Ryan didn't abuse Cassie's friend Nina, but he didn't do anything to stop it. Does that make him as guilty? For me, yes, but I know many guys who will think of that as a no. And why he didn't act on it? Peer pressure, or simply he was young, dumb, and not broke, he went to med school for Christ's sake. Didn't really know or think too much about the reality of what was happening and just went along like, well, the character of Alison Brie and apparently everyone else? And maybe the most important question on it is the Ryan we see throughout the film the same we never see in the video? And by the way, not showing the video is a genius move by Emerald Fennell. Could he have changed and saw that yes, he was wrong and everyone there in the scene was a criminal as well? And going along with that, does he deserve forgiveness? And now I'll take a break from the lying theme, I'll bring you back at the end, don't worry, to discuss some of the filmmaking decisions that make this such a fascinating film. Because Fennell, who also wrote the script, does something I absolutely love, which is borrowing from everyone in order to do something original. In a way, she reminds me of Kaufman and his ability of blending the mundane and the fantastic. In this shot, she uses anamorphic lenses to distort the world around Cassie, a world that never sounds too real, but never unreal enough to sound surreal. In scenes involving her parents and their very weird interactions, Fennell plays Kubrick, or even Lanthimos, and obviously in the way she uses perspective, she borrows from both Spike Lee and Jordan Peele. But if you want to jump on me for only naming male directors, it's very important to notice how she uses all of these in a very feminine manner, using a plethora of pop diva songs that completely own those scenes, or even reverting shots like the opening one that reminded me of the first scene of Nocturnal Animals, but where the naked women become dressed adult men dancing in a very gross manner like only grown men can. Gosh, I hope I don't get like that. This is by far the movie of 2020 with the most visually iconic moments as well, all of them centering around the character of Cassie and her uniqueness. Her clothes are always resembling feminine colors with saturated tones, and it's interesting to notice that the cafeteria is the only place of the movie where we can actually breathe easy, since all other places give you a sense of claustrophobia, be it by dim lighting or restricting or, as I said before, distorting the space a character, usually Cassie, occupies. In this great scene where Cassie interacts and lies to her former dean, notice how Fennell shoots as if the chair beside her is clearly lacking someone, Because it is, Nina was supposed to be there. She is the promising young woman of the title, at least to my view. And this emptiness, this feeling of someone that should be there but is not, permeates all parts of the film where Cassie finds herself alone. And by not showing a single shot of Nina, Fennell also creates in our minds a symbol of a girl that was so many things but then became only a tragedy. Bringing the sad video back, it's striking how Mulligan, my favorite to win the Oscar, completely crumbles over it, and her reaction is enough for us to understand the horror she's watching. And if my mind reminds correctly, the camera kind of zooms in very slowly and the lighting goes down, so it's a darker scene, but I might be tripping, but I think that's it. Which also brings us to the final light told by the movie when Cassie is supposed to complete her revenge but is murdered in the process. This is the only violent moment in the whole film, and it should come as the opposite of a catharsis. And notice, here Fennell reverts another famous scene, the one in which Lisbeth Salander completes her revenge on her former tutor. But if Fincher's film uses a raw reality to show something absurdly and heinously satisfying, Fennell uses symbolism and a Britney Spears Joker fantasy to show something much closer to what would really happen should a girl try to make justice with her own hands. Cassie, the hero, dies while the villain lives. And here also I point to the fact that Al doesn't even seem like a villain. He didn't want to cheat on his wife. He treated Cassie as a stripper nicely. He cried like a baby again. Promising a woman makes you think that you are going to encounter a monster, but it's just another random guy like every other one. And yeah, the movie just lied to you one more time. And upon discovering this final lie, I get why many people might feel disappointed. Hollywood would send them in a direction of redemption, but in reality there is none. And going against what I heard some people saying, the police showing up in the end doesn't mean that they are good, just means that like the case were given to them made. They didn't move a finger before they knew what happened, so I don't think that's a valid point against the film. But anyway, this ending makes this film undeniably fun for 2/3 of it, finished with a twisted grin of a character that always knew the sad truth. This year's most outrageous, absurd nominee is also its most painfully real. And if I call Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always the truth for being so down to the bone and direct, I can only call this one a lie, because that's what it does to us. And that's why I love it so much.